It's late, the lights are off, your phone is dim, and suddenly your mind becomes a cinema that only plays one genre: disaster. You replay a conversation and hear hidden meanings that weren't there. You imagine future problems with terrifying clarity. You remember mistakes from years ago like they happened today. You tell yourself you're just thinking things through, being responsible, preparing. But the feeling underneath is not preparation. It's a tightening, a restless dread, a lonely heaviness that makes your life look fragile. And the worst part is how convincing it feels at night. In the daytime, you can handle things. At night, everything feels like a sign you're falling behind, losing control, or running out of time. If you recognize yourself in this, you're not weak and you're not overly sensitive. You're experiencing a predictable psychological state that I'm going to call the midnight forecast. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why your brain becomes a doomsday meteorologist after dark, how to tell thinking from spiraling in real time, and a simple toolkit to diffuse the loop without pretending everything is fine. And in a few minutes, we'll close a counterintuitive curiosity loop. The fastest way to reduce nighttime spirals is not to solve the problem. It's to change the conditions that make your brain treat the problem like an emergency. Let's name and frame the phenomenon. The midnight forecast is when your mind starts generating negative predictions at night and then mistakes those predictions for truth. It's not the same as being reflective, and it's not proof that your life is actually worse at 1 a.m. It's your brain running a different operating mode because the environment, your body, and your attention have changed. The midnight forecast often feels like clarity because your mind becomes focused and intense, but that intensity is not wisdom. It's a stress response dressed up as insight. Think of your brain like a newsroom. During the day, there are multiple departments: planning, social connection, movement, problem-solving, humor, perspective. At night, the newsroom shrinks. Less input, less contact, less movement. The editor-in-chief becomes the threat department because your brain's job is to keep you alive. And in the dark, uncertain, quiet environment, it assumes you might need vigilance. So it starts scanning your life for vulnerabilities, and it does what it always does with vulnerabilities: it simulates future scenarios. That simulation can be useful in small doses. At night, it becomes a storm. Here's why the midnight forecast happens in simple depth. First, fatigue reduces your brain's ability to regulate emotion. When you're tired, the part of you that can say, "Hold on, that thought is exaggerated," is weaker. The part of you that reacts to threat is stronger. This is not a character flaw, it's biology. Second, nighttime is a low distraction environment, which sounds good until you realize your brain will fill silence with whatever is loudest inside you. During the day, you have context and feedback. At night, the mind becomes its own echo chamber. Third, your body state changes. If you ate late, drank alcohol, had caffeine, sat still all day, or scrolled for hours, your nervous system may be dysregulated in subtle ways. Heart rate up, breath shallow, muscles tense. Your brain interprets bodily arousal as evidence that something is wrong. It then searches for a story to match the feeling. This is a key point. Often your mind is not reacting to reality. It's reacting to your physiology and then narrating it. Fourth, the dark and isolation amplify uncertainty, and uncertainty is the fuel of anxiety. When you can't act on a thought right away, it feels unresolved, and unresolved thoughts stick. Your brain hates open loops, so it keeps forecasting, trying to produce certainty. Now here's the hidden cost if you don't recognize this. You start trusting nighttime conclusions. You send messages you regret. You make dramatic decisions in a dysregulated state. You damage self-trust because you wake up and think, "Why was I so sure last night?" Or you start dreading bedtime, which turns sleep into a battleground, and that makes everything worse, because poor sleep increases the next night's forecast. The midnight forecast becomes a cycle. Tiredness makes you spiral. Spiraling ruins sleep. Ruined sleep makes you more vulnerable tomorrow. It also affects relationships. You might interpret someone's delayed reply as rejection, someone's tone as contempt, your own desire for reassurance as neediness. You might rehearse arguments, imagine breakups, or decide you're failing at life, all while your brain is running on low resources. So the goal is not to eliminate all nighttime thinking. The goal is to stop mistaking a night brain forecast for a day brain fact. We're going to build a toolkit that restores perspective and gives your nervous system a safe landing. 4 tools, small enough to use in bed, strong enough to change the loop. Tool 1 is called the night brain disclaimer. This is your first interrupt. When you notice the spiral beginning, you say one sentence: "My brain is in night mode. These thoughts are not a verdict." That's it. The power is in the separation. It doesn't argue with the thought. It changes your relationship to it. You're not inside the forecast, you're watching the forecast. Then you add a second sentence that directs you. Any major decisions wait until daylight. This is not avoidance. This is wisdom. You don't sign contracts in a storm. You don't rewrite your identity at 2 a.m. micro-experiment. Tonight, the first time you catch a catastrophic thought, say the disclaimer in your head and notice if the thought loses even 5% of its authority. That 5% is the gap where choice lives. Tool 2 is called the body first reset. Remember, your mind often narrates your physiology, so you reverse the order. Before you analyze anything, you regulate the body. The body first reset has 3 steps that take about 1 minute. Step 1. Exhale longer than you inhale for 5 slow breaths. Longer exhale tells your nervous system the threat is passing. Step 2. Relax your jaw and tongue deliberately, because these hold tension you don't notice. Step 3. Place a hand on your chest or stomach and feel the warmth for 10 seconds. This isn't mystical, it's a signal of safety through touch. Then you reassess. Often the thought will still be there, but it will be less sharp, less urgent. In practice, it looks like this. You're spiraling about your future. You feel your heart racing. You want to open your phone and research, scroll, fix. Instead, you do the body first reset. 5 breaths, jaw release, hand on chest. Then you ask, did the problem change or did my state change? Usually, it's your state. Micro assignment. Try this once without expecting a miracle. Expect a small shift. Small shifts compound at night. Tool 3 is called the forecast test. This is how you tell productive thinking from anxiety simulation. Anxiety forecasts have a specific signature. They are vague, global, and unscheduled. They say everything will go wrong, I'll end up alone, I'm failing, my life is falling apart without a concrete next step. The forecast test is 2 questions. First, is this thought a problem I can act on in the next 24 hours? Second, if yes, what is the smallest action that makes it even 1% better? If you cannot act within 24 hours, then the thought is not planning, it's rumination, and it goes into a holding container. If you can act, you write 1 small step and stop. Here's an example. Thought, I'm going to lose my job. Forecast test. Can I act in 24 hours? Yes. Smallest action. Tomorrow I will spend 20 minutes listing my current tasks and sending 1 clarifying message to my manager. Write it down. Close it. If the thought is, what if I never find my purpose? Can I act in 24 hours? Not in the way the thought demands. So it goes into the container. Purpose worry, revisit in daylight. This is how you stop the brain from turning every existential question into a midnight emergency. Micro experiment. The next time you spiral, run the forecast test and watch how many problems turn out to be unscheduled, unactionable simulations. Tool 4 is called the paper drain. This is the tool that saves your sleep. Your brain keeps forecasting because it doesn't trust that the thought will be remembered or handled. So it holds it in working memory like a heavy object, and that keeps you awake. The paper drain is a simple externalization ritual. You take a note, paper is best, and you write 3 lines only. Line 1, what is my brain forecasting? Line 2, what is the emotion underneath? Line 3, what is the next smallest step, or if there is no step, when will I revisit this in daylight? Then you stop. The limit is important. Without a limit, journaling can become another spiral. 3 lines drains the pressure and gives your brain proof that the thought is contained. This is not suppressing, it's scheduling. Your mind relaxes when it has a plan. Now let's close the counterintuitive loop. The fastest way to reduce nighttime spirals is not to solve the problem, because many nighttime problems are not solvable at night. They are created or amplified by conditions, fatigue, isolation, bodily arousal, and lack of feedback. When you change those conditions, the problem shrinks back to its real size. That's why the toolkit starts with the disclaimer and the body reset. You're not battling thoughts. You're changing the mode your brain is in. And there's a deeper philosophical point here, one that can change the way you relate to your mind. Nighttime spirals often feel like your mind is betraying you, but your mind is trying to protect you. It's scanning for threats because it cares about your future. The tragedy is that it uses the wrong tool at the wrong time, prediction without power. You can be compassionate to the part of you that forecasts and still refuse to obey it blindly. You can say, thank you for trying to protect me, and I will handle this in daylight. That is self-leadership. And if you want a comment prompt that genuinely helps, here it is. If you're comfortable, pause and write 1 sentence your night brain often says. Something like, you're running out of time, or you're going to mess everything up, or no one really cares, or you'll never become who you want to be. Share it in the comments if you want. You'll see how many people have the same midnight script, And that alone reduces shame. Now let's integrate everything into a simple protocol you can memorize. When the midnight forecast starts, step 1, night brain disclaimer, night mode, not a verdict, no big decisions. Step 2, body first reset, 5 long exhales, jaw release, hand on chest. Step 3, forecast test, can I act in 24 hours if yes, 1 small step, if no, schedule it for daylight. Step 4, paper drain, 3 lines, then stop. If you do this consistently, you'll notice something powerful. The spiral becomes shorter, the thoughts become less convincing, your sleep becomes less fragile, and your self-trust grows because you stop letting a tired brain decide your identity. You wake up with fewer emotional hangovers, and you start experiencing your mind as a system you can guide, not a storm you must survive. If this video helped you understand why your mind spirals at night and gave you practical tools you can use tonight, like the video. Share it with someone who texts their anxiety after midnight, and subscribe to Mind Unlocked, because we're building a toolkit for better thinking, clearer communication, and deeper self-understanding, so you can stop living at the mercy of your mental weather and start leading your mind with calm, realistic wisdom.